Good evening, afternoon, morning. Hello, everybody. We're here. Sorry, I was a few minutes late. That's my bad. I got a new keyboard. And it was taking a moment for it to recognize that it was there. So I couldn't get to the website. That was what was happening. Good evening, King Oric. Good evening, Mark. Good evening, Jungle Camper. Good evening, Laura. Good evening, Stoogie, Flying Muttley, Philip G, Yamail Angmar, Warboss 8. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and good morning, and good afternoon. Hello, Cameron. How are we doing? Is everyone groovy out there? It's Me Time Monday, everybody. Hey, hey, hey. 5 weeks on the bounce. I have found the time to do something for me. 50 press-ups now. Do you want me to die? Because I will. That would kill me. There was a time when I could do that. It is not now. There will be a time to grieve for Boromir, but it is not now. Welcome. You've got your crypt horror. Ooh. I've got some crypt horrors to do as well. I've got to build them first, but I've got some crypt horrors to do as well. Guys, I absolutely love flesh eater courts right now. I'm in love with them, and I think they're fantastic. The new range is unbelievable. Usharan is unbelievable. All the characters are fantastic. The Morbeg Knights are lovely. The Crypt Guard are lovely. So yeah, I'm fully in on flesh eater courts. So today I'm probably gonna, well, we're gonna hang out. I'm gonna build an abhorrent arch regent, because if you are interested in a flesh eater courts army, you absolutely need to have an abhorrent arch regent. You absolutely need to have an abhorrent arch regent. Possibly even two of them. Grand Justice Gourmet. Yeah, he's a lovely model there, Cameron. Absolutely wonderful model. Do, 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 do. Here we are. As you can see, I've got the abhorrent arch regent ready to build. So I'm going to build this one up first, and we probably will have time to maybe build something else. I don't know. A lot of these streams have been building. For those of you who are wondering who this guy is, this is a Saurus Astrolith bearer that is about halfway through being done. He's who I'm working on at the moment. For all you Seraphon fans out there, don't worry. I don't forget these things. I do get to them eventually. Just popping on to say hi, but we'll watch later once kids are in bed. Building Crypt Guard tonight. There we go. Plots of Corn. He's on board with the flesh eater courts. They're just the best, right? So yeah, we're going to get this guy built up. Now you absolutely, like I said, you absolutely need to have one of these if you're doing a flesh eater courts army. And I will explain why. Accidentally acquired a big old box of Silver Death. Yeah, I've fallen into that accident before as well. Okay, so if you are not sure as to why you need an abhorrent arch regent, let me explain as to why you do. So the abhorrent arch regent, his profile isn't much to write home about. He's got a 6-inch move, 7 wounds, a 4+ save, and a bravery of 10, which is pretty good. The key thing here is that he has, of course, the abhorrent keyword, which means some stuff, which we'll get to in just a minute. He is a wizard. He can cast 2 spells and unbind 2 spells in the enemy hero phase. He has a melee weapon, which is his gory talons and fangs, 5 attacks, 3+3+, -1 damage 2, which is about as average as it gets, but there's ways to make that better, of course. Now, in your hero phase, you can heal up to D3 wounds allocated to him, so he's got a little bit of resiliency. At the start of your hero phase, you can return up to 3 slain models to 1 friendly serfs unit that is within 18 inches of this unit. Or you can return 1 slain model to 1 friendly knights unit that is within 18 inches of this unit. So, if you're running lots of Crypt Guard, if you're running lots of Crypt Ghouls, Abhorrent Arch Regent, he just brings models back for free. Carrion Call. If a spell that has a casting value of 6 is successfully cast in the following movement phase, friendly Flesh Eater Courts units that are set up at the end of the movement phase can immediately move D6 inches. Now, if you've bought the Flesh Eater Courts army set, and you have a Gore Warden, instead of setting up this unit on the battlefield, you can place it to one side and say that it is circling in the skies as a reserve unit. If you do so, when you set up a friendly Crypt Flayers or Morbeg Knights unit during deployment, that unit can join this unit circling in the skies as a reserve unit. A maximum of 1 unit can join this unit. At the end of your movement phase, you can set up this unit more than 9 inches from all enemy units. If you do so, set up the unit that joined this unit wholly within 9 inches of this unit and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. So, having the Abhorrent Arch Regent means, 1, he can help return models to your Crypt Guard, but also, it means that when this happens, you can move D6 inches. So there is a possibility that you can get a 3-inch charge. So that's pretty cool. As a 1-2 punch. Even just to add that to the box. So Crypt Guard are 140 points each. That's 280 points. The Abhorrent Arch Regent is 150, as is the Gore Warden, which is 150. So that's 300 plus 280, that's 580 points. If you then add the Morbeg Knights, 150 points. I've lost count of where I was. 580, 6, 730. 730 points right there. You got a really lovely little kind of 1-2 punch combo going on there, just from that little section of models. So he's absolutely worth having in your army. So if you can get one, buy one. He's also just really cool. Look at him. He's gorgeous. Good evening, Dave. I meant to buy paint and either the Sylvaneth Vanguard box or a Warcry band of some description, and then they had a Revenant Wargrove box from a couple of years ago on the shelf. What else could I do? Well, I mean, you're not wrong there, Flying Muttley. It had to be done almost. It was begging to be bought. It would have been rude not to. So yeah, there we go. So I'm going to build up this Abhorrent Arch Regent, because I think he's an absolute must-have in every Flesh Eater Courts army. Because he doesn't have to spend any of his Noble Deeds points to bring stuff back, which is very nice. Because you can use, so basically you can generate Noble Deeds points by causing wounds with characters. Every time a successful prayer goes off, or every time a successful spell goes off. That's how you generate the Noble Deeds points. Once you get to 6 Noble Deeds points, which is the max you can have, that's when Feeding Frenzy goes off, and that's when everything within a certain range gets +1 attack. So, in an ideal world, you don't want to be spending too many of your Noble Deeds points because you want to get to that +1 attack. Now, that's very nice. If you have Usharan, his feeding frenzy is 24-inch range on that enormous 130mm round base that he's on. So he's really good for keeping it. You can pretty much stack him up to 6 pretty quickly, especially if you take him in I believe in a Morgaunt army. Although I'm not sure if it would affect him because he has the Hollowmorn keyword. I like Morgaunt for every character starting with extra noble deeds. With a noble deeds point, I think that's very strong. I do think Hollowmorn is also very good from a list building perspective because it makes your Crypt Horrors battle line. I believe it's Horrors or Flayers. It's one of the two. Pretty certain it's Horrors, and they're the cheapest thing in the book to have as battle line. 130 points. So you can absolutely put you can create an army, and I said this in the description. Like, one of the reasons I mean, I love Flesh Eater Courts. They've got some of the best background writing in the game, in the story, and in the setting. I think they're just fantastic army and a wonderful concept. And I think they look proper grim as well, which is, you know, exactly what you want. So, I've wanted to do them for a while, but what I didn't want to do was paint hundreds and hundreds of Crypt Ghouls, because I don't like the idea of running monster lists. As good as Gristlegore was for a while, I don't like it. The only one I'll consider is the Stormdrake Guard list. Ionis Cryptborn, Stormwing, that kind of thing. Just all dragons, because I think that looks sick. But like all Terrorgeist, I'm just like, nah, I don't really want to run it. So, especially when something like that is super powerful to begin with, when you start seeing it because you just know it's going to catch nerfs left, right, and center. So buying and building 5 to 6 Terrorgeist was just never going to be a thing I was going to do. Plus, you know, I've got to make content for all of you guys, so I like to have as many different units in the army as possible. So what I've bought as of this weekend is I bought some more Crypt Guards, so I can have 30 of them, so that if I'm running a Morgaunt army, I've got my Crypt Guard as a battle line option. The other thing I've bought is 2 units of Morbeg Knights, because if you take the Gore Warden as your general, they become battle line, which is pretty cool. I was definitely being foolish trying to put that together that way. His little stabby knife keeps getting bent. There you go. Thank you, Alec, man. You wouldn't get it. You absolutely can, Kataro. Yeah, no, you definitely can. I don't know why these aren't showing. Let's put that back on, shall we? Yeah, but my intention is to have all different colours. Is the stream having issues again? It was very briefly for a second there. It's because my bitrate just zoomed up to 57,000, which it doesn't normally do. It's trying to force too much data in. It should be okay now. Well, I'll tell you what, Kataro. I'll go and grab all my miniatures. Once I've built this guy, I'll go and grab all of the miniatures, and you can see what you think looking at it. Went to the local flag to get 4 paints. Not only get a Caradron Overlord's Vanguard with damage packet for only €60. Nice, Philip. Nice. I think Flesh Eater Courts are one of those armies where having them all be slightly different colours. Not all of them, obviously. I think you'd want a core of the army to be a certain way. But I think having them look different makes sense for them. I think if they all look the same colour, they would look a little bit less real. Not that they're supposed to look real, they're a bunch of ghouls. But I'll go and get all my models once I've built this guy, and you can see what you think. I'll put them all next to each other. Number 3. Oh, nice, Logan. Blister skin is really fun. It took me a hot minute to figure it out, and then I was like, hang on, if I just do a little bit of stippling across the tops, that's it, that's the one. I took some inspiration from the painting guide they have in the book, but obviously I changed it up a bit. I think it came off really nicely. But yeah, I'm super into this army. I think it's fantastic, and I want like a, I mean, like I said, my intention is to have them all be a beautiful mismatch of different things, with the core, of course, of the army set being all Morgaunt. That provides a pretty good like foundation, but like having some bits of Hollow Morn and a little bit of Blister Skin here and there, or even some Gristle Gore, makes sense to me. Of course, my main ones I want to all have a kind of a similar vibe. But so like I painted Grand Justice Goremain in his colours, you know. Same for Usharan, because I think that pale blue of his skin is just gorgeous. And this way it can kind of he can be the uniting thing across everything. Okay, component number 3. Where do you go? Apparently around here somewhere. Oh, we've got 2 little. He's a little bit of a tricksy bugger to put together, isn't he? Let's do that. Now we know roughly where it all goes. Oh no, Katara, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear you got the Rona. I've got a question for you. I've been having trouble deciding what to work on lately. I finished my Kyric Acolytes 2 weeks ago, and I finished an Exalted Flamer, but I don't know what to do next. I feel like I've hit a brick wall of motivation. I've mostly finished a Changecaster for my Tzeentch army, but for some reason I can't bring myself to keep working on them right now. It's probably just because you need a palate cleanser away from Tzeentch, because Tzeentch can be a little bit taxing on the brain to build. I would suggest, if you've got something else, you can either try and finish up the change caster and call time on the project for a little bit of a little while, or just hit pause on the change caster for a bit and do something else to reignite that love for painting Tzeentch models. Like I said, they can be a little bit draining to paint Tzeentch stuff because of all the colours and the various blending and stuff that can go on them. I definitely ran into that when I was painting my demons armies. I got a little bit burnt out painting them. Not burnt out, but I was like, oh, I need to do something else other than like flesh. And so I went and did something else for a little bit, but then I came back to it. Full of the joys of spring for painting demons and stuff. Mr. the Warhipster, beacon of shining righteousness amongst the darkness of the hobby grey, shining light on the mysteries of brush and painting, bringing the faithful to the light of painted minis. How are you, sir? I am very, very well. All the better for seeing you, Mr. Captain Mannerings. How are you? Are you okay? Have you had a good day? Does that really go in like that? Oh no, it goes in like that. Leapy. I like it. As always, guys, if you could, please do leave a like on the stream. That's very kind of you. And thank you very much, Big Bad Peter Gaming, for the 2. My Mr. Warhipster, bombardment. Bombardment indeed. We are bombarding right now. That is our first super chat of the day. You're a hero, Big Bad Peter Gaming. That £2 will go towards the camera fund, which I shall update now. You two have been nurgled. Oh no! I can't believe it's already February. It's crazy to me. Oh no. Yeah, I just saw that the like button was appearing on the postcards. That's great. That must be new from old YouTubey. Ooh, that is quite the gappage, isn't it? Across the top of his head. I'm sure it'll be fine if we drown it in glue. Just put a little spot there, but then we do that. And then we just press it together. Like that. And then very quickly just wick off all that's splurged out. We should be all good. Yeah, looks it to me. Good evening, Hooded Plays. Let me just bosh that on there. Oh no. Oh no, no. I love that he has the most tactical of rocks. Where are you based, Gary Ghouls? Might be able to help you find it. There's a decent... I mean, you can get away with using Warp Fiend Grey instead of Slanesh Grey. It's a little bit more purpley, but it can just about work. Unfortunately, you're in Pennsylvania, US. Okay. Is there anybody else in the US here that can help Gary find Luxion Purple or Slanesh Grey? Have you got a web store that you like to use, as it were? Okay, number 7. You go on here. Oh, you are spindly, you are. That's fun. Is that one of his fingers? Yes, that is one of his fingers. Oh, that is a very annoying connection point. How dare you, Games Workshop. That's how that goes in. Okay. That's one of those... I mean, tension will kind of hold it in. Hi, still working. Hate my life. Oh, Rez. Do you know what you and Adam both need to do? You both need to quit your jobs and come and work for me. Because I will always work more hours than you will. And I will insist upon it. I will only let you do 37 and a half. I will like, no! Now the problem is I can't match your salaries. But the work-life balance would be insane. What we do is we get the good people of the world of YouTube to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we get them to watch every video all the time. that way we generate the ad revenue to pay for Rich and Adam. Question regarding mixing contrast with technical paint, which you do in your videos. Do you use anything specific for that, or do you just use a brush and water to clean the brush? Yes, Westerveld. I just use the brush that I'm painting with. I always use the brush that I'm going to apply it with, unless like I'm doing like super fine detail work, but I'm rarely doing that with a mix, because you end up like kind of it ends up drying out too quickly. So like I don't use things like thinned down wildwood to paint in letters, for example, on some pages. That would be silly. So yeah, if I'm going to be painting, if ever in the video you see me do a 1-to-1 mix of contrast, medium and something, and then we take that and we apply that with like a medium layer brush, I'll have mixed it with the medium layer brush so the ratios are right for the brush. Now this hand should just slot in here, allegedly. And then that just goes on there. So let's get that on here. Like so. And then we just have one component left. Oh, Mini Painting Dad with the €20. Thank you so much. Evening all. I hope you had a great weekend and a good start into the new week. My first airbrush came today. New chapter. Oh, I'm very excited for you, buddy. But thank you so much, Mini Painting Dad. I've had a lovely start to the week so far today. I sent off an invoice. It's always a nice thing to do. There we go. Now we're cooking. Look at him. Now what do we reckon? I think that's the position for it. How does that look on? Does that look like he's in the middle? Yeah. Hey yo, there we go. That's the most meta piece in my Flesh Eater Quartz army so far. Right. So, next job. Katara wants to see if having different colours makes the army look dumb. Oh, I built some fell bats as well, actually. From Sakar's Fangs of the Blade Queen. Fangs of the Blood Queen, whatever it's called. Right, so we need models. That's a dead sprue. There is no other components on that. I like that. That's efficient. That's nice. Where are my other dead screws? I had a little pile of them that I was making. Oh, I should update this. For the €20, because Mini Painting Dad is super generous. There we go. Dead sprue. Oh, it's right there. My pile has fallen. Okay. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm back. I come bearing models. So there's old Ushy. There's Grand Justice Gormain. There's the Abhorrent Cardinal. There's our Royal Decapitator. And then we have our Morbeg Knights. Like this. We have our Vargulf Courtier. Our Gore Warden. You can just go there. Then we have some Crypt Guard. This one's gained a beard hair at some point. Somehow. There we go. Got rid of that. We've got a bit of Hollow Morn stuff, some blister skin. Excuse me. There we go. Lovely. This guy. Another slavering horde. That can go over there. And then the other one that we have. We have the Marrow Scroll Herald as well, and we have this guy, who it won't focus on. So now, this is all I've done so far. Now, bearing in mind, this isn't a 2,000 point army. There you go, Gary Ghouls. Elec Man coming to the rescue. What a hero. So as you can see, what I need to do is add more. Now I've got 40 ghouls to do. 10 more Crypt Guard, 6 more of these when they arrive, and then I've got the Horrors and the Flayers, and I've got a Dragon as well. But as you can see, having a slavering horde of different coloured stuff absolutely works. So what I might do with the other 10 Crypt Guard that I've got coming is it would make sense to buy another 10 Crypt Guard so that I could do so I could have 40 of them, but then I would have 10 here and then do 10 of these, 10 of these, 10 of these, and then mix and match all of them. But that's for another time. But as you can see, it definitely works when they're all different colours. How big is Usharan? Usharan's big. He's not obnoxiously big though. Like he's like as you can see, he towers over the rest of them, and he's on a 130 mil base. You do spy Skelly Bobs, yes. We have our skeleton archers that I need to finish. No, they can just continue to live there for the moment. That's this week's job is to paint Tomb Kings. So I'm going to be adding a lot more. So like I said, I've got 10 ghouls here, and I need to build the other 10 of these. This is from Jerian's delegation. So I might do these as Hollow Morn. So just like a big block of 20 Hollow Morn ghouls. Would the old start collecting mix with these? Well, you can see what you think. So there's 10 ghouls. Big Bad Peter Gaming, thank you very much for the 1 gifted membership. That is very, very, very kind of you. Thank you. We start the long road back. So like at this distance, yes, they absolutely work. If you combine a ghoul with if you compare a Crypt Guard with a ghoul, they just about work. I need to paint them though for it to get the full impact. That's the problem. Is I'm so early in my But there you go. Let's use this as a tray. So yeah, Usharan doesn't stand so tall. The Gore Warden. I don't know how well you can see this. If I pop back to face cam, you can see the Gore Warden and he are the same height, but he obviously has significantly more bulk. There he is. There's the man. And then if you compare him with things like there's Gormain, there's the Royal Decapitator, there's the Marrow Scroll Herald, there's the Abhorrent Cardinal, there's the Vargolf Courtier, here's the Abhorrent Ghoul King with Crown of Delusion. All of this, by the way, all of this gets videos. And then you can put, like, for example, you can put like the Morbeg Knights here as well. Like that. And then we can pop in some Crypt Guard. See how it all kind of starts to come together? A block of 20 Cryptals. Oh yeah. Oh baby. Especially if your opponent eventually gets through them after you've had the Abhorrent or Arch Regent, just like bringing 3 of them back a turn, which, you know, isn't a huge amount, but if you do that and then you also use the Noble Deeds occasionally to bring extra ones back here and there, there we go. What do you think? So like I said, I've got a lot more to do. So I have 40 of these guys. I've only built 10 though. I need to build 10 more. I've obviously built the Abhorrent Arch Regent, this guy just now. Camera is really struggling to focus today. This is why we need the new camera. Let me just check that there isn't a smear on the camera lens, which is why it's struggling. No, we seem to be alright. Let me just... Let's try that. Yeah, that's doing a little bit better job, isn't it? So we built that. Now where's the rest of my stuff? Oh yeah, no, can't show that one yet. I'll have to go and dive into a box in just a second. There are still more people watching than likes on the stream. Let's go, everybody, says Beardhammer Wargaming. I completely agree with you, Beardhammer Wargaming. Please do leave a like on the stream. If we can get 17 more, we'll get to the magic number. And Displeased Badger, thank you very much for becoming a member. That is very kind of you. Oh, I think I can do a thing. Let's see if we can... I have to pull up my YouTube stream. If I go in here and I press this button, press that button, press this, I can see if I can snipe some grey names in the chat. See if we can get some more green names in here. Boom. Who do we get? Tom Kennish, Matt Hogan, Kawhi Fieri, Sindri, Lobben. There we go. Congratulations, you got membership. You continue to help. Boom. There we go. 85 concurrent viewers. You guys are amazing. 62 likes on the stream. There we go. Brilliant. Six more, and we get the magic number. Ghouls equals bruh. 40 ghouls.
Bruh. Bruh.
We need to paint. Originally, when I was going to do a Flesh Eater Corpse army, I needed to paint 120 ghouls. But that wasn't a good idea. It wasn't a very good list. It was just Ghoul Patrol, basically. Okay. I'm going to go and dive into a big box. I will be back in just a second. I have fully just blocked myself in with boxes. Okay. You picked up the Night Quest to paint, but not tried it yet. Oh, awesome. Right. I hope it's perfect for you. I really do. Right. What do you want to see? Do you want to see Charnel Throne, Ghouls, Horrors, or Flayers? One's in the chat if you want to see the Charnel Throne built. Two's in the chat if you want to see Crypt Ghouls. Three's in the chat if you want to see Crypt Horrors. And four's in the chat if you want to see Flayers. Those are your options. It all needs building. I've been debating what to paint next as my palette cleanser from Disciples of Zinch. I'm debating between Nighthaunt, Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and maybe Gits or Stormcast Eternals. Which would make the best palette cleanser in your opinion? I think either Ossiarch Bone Reapers or Stormcast Eternals, because they're just that bit different. There's a lot more kind of chunk to them. There's a lot more solidness. There's no flesh, basically. What do we reckon? 1, 1, 1. That's 3 ones, 4 ones, 5 ones, 6, 7 ones. Looks like the ones have it, so that's the Charnel Throne. So we'll build the Charnel Throne next. Is it the Charnel Throne or is it the Carnal Throne? No, it's not the Carnal Throne. That means something else. Number 3, Bombardment. Okay. It's 6:15. We'll see if we can build this and then some horrors as well. Because Big Bad Peter Gaming did donate too. Democracy got the ones. But that does put us on 829, which is very exciting. this should be pretty quick because it's just a bit of terrain. The problem is, it's instructions from a bygone age. Okay, well, there we go. So, component number 1 is this one, with more clip points than is strictly necessary. Let's just bring you up a little bit further so you can see a little bit more. There we go. Have you got an industrial mold line remover ready? No. No, we just have the back of our knife. We'll be fine. I quite like the idea of... Sorry. You've missed the building of an abhorrent archregent and then showing off all of the models ever. But that's all. Now we're building a charnel throne. So, one of the things I would like to do this year is get a couple of terrain sets fully ready. And I like the idea of doing like a spooky, like ghoul, like a kind of ghoul city for AOS. Right, we need component number 2 next. That's 10. It's probably on this sprue that's fallen on the ground. Number 2, which one are you? Is it you? Yes. Barodon283, hello Mr. Warhipster, first time catching one of your streams tonight, but wanted to thank you for all the work you do. Love heart back at you. You've helped me take my models to the next level, and then you've just become a member as well. That is very kind of you. Thank you very much, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure to join the Discord if you have not already, because it's the best Discord in all the lands. Oh, we've got a big old thing there. There we go. Well, it's gone. So if you haven't already, guys, I would suggest checking out a company called Dark Fantastic Mills. Because he makes some of the best terrain I've ever seen, and some of it is like all like walkways and stuff, and I think it's called the Argent Realm, and I want to get a big set of it and then just like cover it in skulls and bones and things like that, and create like an underground ghoul hovel, and have that be my AOS theme board, because I think that would be quite fun, and I think it would look awesome. Okay, I like that on this, you don't know how well you can see it, but right there's some fleur-de-lis. Oh, the poor old Bretonians. What happened to you? Right, so that goes there. There's probably a little bit more to take off on the top here. There's a lot of there we go. And that goes in there. Like that. And then Baradin 283 with a massive, enormous £50. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's unbelievable. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Some money towards your new camera. I love my truck from following your tutorial. Do you plan on doing a tutorial for the rock guts? This isn't a bribe, just curious. It's fine if it is a bribe. Yes, I do plan on doing it. At this month is pretty much like a death month from my perspective. Next month, I think I might do a lot of destruction, and part of that is doing the rock guts and also doing some gits. Things like Gobblepalooza. Again, this is subject to change depending on what comes out or what somebody sends me and this, that, and the other. But I really want to make good headway with the ghouls and also with the Soulblight Gravelords as well. So I want to do the fell bats and I want to do the dire wolves, as well as the skeletons that we painted last week. Get a video for that. So if you want to follow along with the Soulblight Gravelords, you can. See you later, Logan Page. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy your class. Right, we need component number 3. But Baradin, that is incredibly generous of you. Thank you so much. I think we'll be getting that new camera this month. For sure we will. You guys are just being unbelievable generous right now. I cannot thank you enough. Okay. Yeah, so because I did Sakar, and that video is coming, the Fang of New Lamia. Inside the box, the Fangs of the Blood Queen, there's 3 fell bats and 10 dire wolves. So I thought I would either do a how to paint each one of those individually, or I do another one of those clearing the backlog videos where we paint all 3 of the battle line for Soulblight Gravelords. So it would be the Death Rattle, skeletons. I mean, it would be. I'd have to buy a box of zombies to do everything battle line for them. And I could maybe try and buy a box of zombies, actually, to be fair. And then we could just do zombies, bats, dogs, and skeletons. Do all of that in one video. That'd be fun, right? But I do have to do the Tomb Kings as well. That is the plan this week. After I've finished my Saurus Astrolith Bearer for one of the wonderful Patreons. At the ultimate level. And like I said, I should be finishing that today. We're getting this stuff built, so that's exciting. So we'll get that stuff done. We'll then paint some Tomb Kings later tonight. Get closer and closer to getting the whole thing done. And then we'll have the entire box of how to paint the Tomb Kings, and then we'll be done with that. And then it'll be Bretonians next for the old world. And then after that, Orcs and Goblins, as they've revealed already. So this is apparently just going to go in there. I mean, that looks good already, doesn't it? Yeah, so Lumineth, they're also on the list of things to do. Maybe that'll be a March thing. Again, this is all subject to what Games Workshop's up to, because if they still continue to send me things, then I have a feeling that the Kroot aren't far away. Just to clarify, that's not a sudden reveal. I don't have them. But if they send me the Kroot, then there'll be at least a week or two committed to painting them, and so on and so forth. So, you know, I've got my. That's the whole point of these days, of these Mondays, is I'm trying to create more space for me to do my thing. You know, as we've discussed many a time. Right, this bit goes on there. Do you know what? One thing I'll give this kit credit for is it feels really solid. Sometimes these terrain bits don't feel particularly solid, but this one absolutely does. So far. But also not like uncomfortable to put together. Lovely. Can make a proper grim terrain piece out of this. Yeah, not yet, Dwarven Darkness. That's this week's job. Any plans to do the Changeling, Shalaxi, and or Kairos? Yes, no, we have plans to do both Shalaxi and Kairos. They'll be coming up. I've got both the models because Peter, if he's here, Peter was very generous and got one for me for Christmas, and you guys also donated money for me to buy Kairos, so I did. Component number 5. Here we go. So yeah, so after I've, to answer your question a little bit more in detail, Dwarven Darkness, after I've finished the Saurus Astrolith bearer. This is where he is. So for Seraphon fans, check it out. Once I've finished him today, I will be painting painting up the rest of that Tomb King set. I might even try and come up with a 4th recipe. Might think about that whilst I'm eating my dinner tonight. Because it makes sense in my head for there to be 4. Maybe Targor Raid Shade is good for it. For like kind of like a red skeleton. You can do like a proper sun bleached one if you use like Rattling Grime, but I think that's a little too dark for the Tomb Kings. Because that's a little bit more like a burnt skeleton rather than sun bleached, actually, thinking about it. But we'll know. The ultimate level membership is on Patreon. It's £50, and you get some coaching from me, and you get a model on a 40mm base, or an amount of money. I can't remember what the amount is limit, and you get that from me as well. But it's £50 a month. And to be honest, most people get it for the model, and I cannot fault them, because you get a model done by me. I will be forever in your debt if you ask for a model that I haven't already done. But if I have already done it, that's fine too. Bosh. Is Cthulhu on your potential list? Oh, absolutely, Philip. I as soon as that model is in my hands, I will be painting it. I desperately want to do it. And I was looking at the Crone host today, and I was like, what's in this box? And there's 10 Sisters of Slaughter by the looks of things, and also Doomfire Warlocks. Now, I think that plus the Arena of Shades box, which we still have the Daughters of Cain version of, although I think I gave away some of the Sisters of Slaughter heads to Charles, who used to run Battlefield Bermondsey, but has now moved back to Switzerland, or is about to. Anyway, I think I've got 10 Witch Elves, 10 Sisters of Slaughter somewhere. I've got at least a box of Doomfire Warlocks from Arena of Shades. The Crone host, if Games Workshop sends it to me, or if I buy it, will give another 10 Sisters of Slaughter and some more Doomfire Warlocks. I'm pretty certain I've got some Killer Eye Life Takers as well. Or Heart Renders, whatever it's called. Or if it's a dual kit, it's both of them. The only thing I don't have is Melusai, because we did the High Gladiatrix, and we've done Marathi on the channel. But it'd be fun to do. It'd be fun to do a Daughters of Cain army. It's kind of a slightly more of a slow grow type thing. Maybe a tale of many Warhipsters. Though I suspect Flesh Eater Quartz is probably going to come in. Well, yeah, you might be able to get more out if you sell a model that I bought painted for you. But then don't forget, I'm not famous. So you might be like, painted by the Warhipster, and people will just be like, who? Which in many ways might be eBay level marketing. Have you ever thought about or considered painting Mantic Games Kings of War miniatures? I'm sure Mantic Games would support you, or would that cause a conflict with Games Workshop? No, there'd be no conflicts. I'm not locked into any exclusivity deals or anything like that. The only thing from my perspective is whenever you do non-Games Workshop painting tutorials, one, that community gets very angry, and two, because you use Citadel paints to do it, but two, also just that the viewership isn't as great, which is fine. So we've got some bolt action stuff to do, and we've got some Shatterpoint to do, and we've got some Napoleonics to do as well. So there's plenty of other stuff that's non-Games Workshop that's going to make its way to the channel. It's just from where I'm at in my trying to grow a YouTube channel business is sadly it's the wrong choice when you're trying to grow, which isn't great, but it's just because Games Workshop stuff is the biggest and most accessible. But we can work on changing that slowly but ever so surely. You're not famous yet. Yeah, no, that's true. I would like to get to the point where if I walk around Nottingham, people will know who I am. But everywhere else in the country, I'm completely anonymous. I heard I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Jacksepticeye actually saying sometimes he really hates it when they have like a Deliveroo driver turn up who recognizes him or his partner Gab, and I was like, I think that would be very cool the first time, and then after that it would be like, oh, I hope it's not somebody who knows me, because now that person knows what I eat. And I don't need people to know what I eat. I don't need everybody to know that I'm a little goblin when it comes to my dinners. I don't need everybody to know what my McDonald's order is. Thing is, that will only get worse if I stream more. My videos, because the vast majority of my videos are painting videos, and I don't put my face in them. And the reason I don't put my face in them is because I want you to focus on the model, not on me. It's not about me doing it. It's about the model that we're actually painting together, you see. Which is why I don't like put my face on it at the front, because you know, like I said, the focus of that model is the miniature, whereas when of that video is the miniature. Whereas when I do like a review, obviously my face is in it, but not everybody watches those videos because some people just don't care, which is absolutely fine. Because you know, not every video is for everybody. I really like this floor, please. So yeah, but the more I stream, the more my face gets out there, right? So, you know, I'm not trying to stay anonymous or anything, but Oh god, which way does this go round? That way around? Yes. Can I ask a question about Mantic miniatures? Do they include instructions in their box on how to build their miniatures? Because so far, every other game that I've looked at that isn't Games Workshop, they're all like, follow this QR code to our website. And you're like, alright, cool. And then the QR code doesn't work. And I'm like, bruh. What are you doing? I'm like this. Bruh. What are you doing? Where's the instructions? Do you know what I mean? Where are we? We're here. So that's where this bit goes. And this bit goes here. It's a personal bugbear of mine. I don't like having to read the instructions on how to do something off a screen. I don't like it because I can't get close to it in the same way. No, they do not. It's so annoying. Put everything in the fucking box. Honestly, the day Games Workshop do it, I'm going to be really annoyed at them. I think they will do it eventually. But I like having the instructions in the box so that I can look at the instructions. I don't want to have to download them in a crap resolution PDF that I can't zoom in on. Because, guys, look. I'm blind. When I first met Alice, her prescription in her glasses was stronger than mine. And 5 years later, after making all of these YouTube videos, my eyesight has gradually gotten much worse. I'm not gonna clip that out yet. I'm just gonna clean this off. I like to have a piece of paper right here, and I know it's bad for the environment, but I recycle it. We recycle all of the instructions here. No, you know what it is? It's when a product is trying to be a starter set, but it's assuming that there's already pre-knowledge there on what you're doing. So like because the other games are all aware that quite often there's like two different types of customer, right? There's somebody who's determined to like your thing, so they buy it and they forgive it, any of its things, but that's because it's the product they desperately want, right? And that's good. That is a good thing. That person is that's a high quality customer. Those are the types of customers you really want. But then there's the other types of customers who are coming to an alternative game. You can hate me if you want for saying this, but they're coming to an alternative game because they want to try something else other than Warhammer, but that's the thing they tried first. So if you bought, like, from my perspective, that's where I'm at. So I want to try other games. I really do. I want to have a go at them. I want to see what they're like. Especially if, like, they come really highly recommended. Like, Joe keeps banging on about how great Bolt Action is. So, you know, he's actually getting me quite fired up to want to play it. And he's like, I'll play it with you. So that's the other side of it, is, you know, finding people to play with. Now, the reason I mention all of this is because I am a long-term Games Workshop customer, because I love Warhammer, right? So that's my thing. That's the thing that I've done all of this time. So I'm used to things being a certain way. When I then want to go into something else, there's an assumed knowledge that I know exactly what I'm doing. But guess what, guys? I'm an idiot and I hate building models. So if you give me a box that has no instructions, I panic. Because I'm like, I hate doing this and I don't want to do this. And I immediately knock points off. Because you can't tell me everything is in the box that I need to get started, because it isn't. It's on the website. And that might be a good thing for some people. Some people might really like that, but I hate it because I don't want to have to go and navigate your website, especially when the QR code then takes you to a website where you then have to find the product code for the thing that you're wanting to actually look at the instructions for, because that is not an intuitive customer pathway. I want to take the QR code and I want that to immediately download the thing. But do I want it to download a file? I have no idea what that file is. No. So I want it to take me to a website where it goes, this is the instructions for this thing that you need. Not, here's all of our instructions for every game that we do, pick the one you want. And then you look down for QRF 10493287B. That's the kit I'm building. Oh, I hate it. It's an awful, awful customer journey. But it comes with the price of there is an assumed knowledge because I should be an expert, because I've already been doing all of this and I already know how to build miniatures. I should be able to just kind of freeball it, and I don't want to do that. But also that, like, that's not going to be a barrier to entry for me. It is a barrier to entry for me, not for everybody, but for me it is. Because I then have to sit like this and squint at a computer. Starter boxes should come with a computer which contains the digital files. Easy fix. Yes! They should come with a computer and a webcam that is sufficiently powerful enough for you to live stream them or make video content about said box. And that way, more people start talking about alternative games, which is ultimately what we want. We want a really healthy tabletop wargaming scene where lots of games are thriving. And lots of games are also focused on the idea of that there are new customers. That somebody could walk in off the street to a friendly local gaming store and be like, what's all this about? Oh, I like the look of this one. But more often than not, because Games Workshop has the high street presence, unlike most others, that's not how it works, right? Because Games Workshop, in contrary to what the rest of the high street is doing, maintains its high street presence because it has a destination store type vibe to it. They are not struggling with their stores, unlike, say, you know, the fashion industry, which is really struggling and has been since I worked at Superdry, right? And it was a real problem then, is that people just don't want to go in and buy clothes. What they want to do is they want to sit at home. They want to buy a new jumper. And the new jumper arrives and it doesn't fit. So then they want to use the free post service that you provide, a free courier service, to be able to box that up and send it back and get the next size up, or get the one in a different color, because a store can't stock all of the things at once. You see? that's the problem with the high street. One of the many problems with the high street. Same for like if you think of other like commodities that you used to buy on the high street, like video games and TVs, TV shows and movies and music and stuff. You can get it all online now. You can just download it. So people aren't going in to go to record shops and stuff, which is why they're really struggling, and have been for many times. Mostly because they can't compete with online entities. But so like. Where tabletop wargaming holds this special place is because, you know, you can tabletop wargame digitally, but it's not great. You're better off with a face-to-face experience. So if you want to go and play someone, you could go to a friendly local game store. You could go to a local games workshop. And it is such a store for little kids that you walk past it and you go, wow, Mum, can we go in there? I think so many of us will have started that way of, wow, look at the giant thing. Wow, look at the little models. I was the same thing with Airfix. There was a shop near me when I was younger which had loads of like loads of built Airfix models in the window, and I was like, wow, look at the Spitfires. Dad, can we go in? And we'd go in and we'd buy one and take it home, and I would build it, and then he would help me paint it, and then we'd be done. And that would be it. On a side note, speaking of Airfix, I very nearly bought the massive HMS Victory model that they make. I very nearly bought it so that I could do that on Me Time Mondays. But I have restrained myself from doing it because it's huge, first of all, and I don't know where I would keep it. Because it would literally be just to do it so I could have it, but I have no idea where we would put it. So I haven't done it yet. I'm going to try to stay strong. Jacob. I mean, that's what I do. I only get dressed for the live streams, you know. And I barely do that. I only put trousers on when I think I might have to stand up. Have you seen the quick build Airfix? I have, yes. I think they're really cool. Right, now this just slots in here. Is that what you're telling me? Yes. Awesome. I thought for sure this was going to be one of those. Oh, it goes right under the ribcage, but it doesn't. It just sits on top like that, which is awesome. And then this apparently goes on here somewhere. Like there, apparently. Oh, are you going to be off center? That's so annoying. Couldn't stick the landing, could you, Charnel Throne? Apparently that just goes there like that. Ah, so Elec Man. I don't own a printer. That's why. And again, I shouldn't buy. I don't want to buy a printer, a whole printer, for the sake of I might I might occasionally print something. It's so rare that I have to print anything. That's why. Yeah, apparently it just goes there like that. Oh, that is a bit of a letdown right at the end there. Oh well, nothing we can do about it. We're just going to glue it on. I guess it's because you have to be able to garrison. Because you garrison a miniature. So you do something like that. Coming soon, the Citadel instructions printer. If Games Workshop got into electronics, that would be something. I don't think it's particularly likely to happen, though. Sprues. Okay. Oh, we've got a dead box as well. 2 dead boxes. Many dead boxes. Okay, let's see what the state of this is. Magnet so you can stick the Ghoul King up there. Oh yeah, the Crown of Delusion. Nah, it's alright. Jerian's delegation. What time are we on? 7 o'clock. I don't know if 15 minutes is enough time. Do you recycle all the sprues you go through? I've held on to most of them for ages. And they've just installed a sprue bin at my local GW. So now I can actually recycle all the sprues. We took our first load down last weekend. And they were like, can you ring us if you're going to bring a huge amount? I was like, yeah, don't worry. I will. Because there's an entire gigantic box downstairs just full of dead sprues. So yeah, I've held on to them, and then I, ever since they said we're going to be doing, well, that's not true. Whenever there's been a sprue that has a component on it, I've held on to it. So I've got tons and tons of sprues with components on it. But then they announced they were doing the sprue recycle, and I was like, oh, brilliant! So I've been collecting them, and then it came to Games Workshop Cheltenham. So I'm like, sick. That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah, no, I don't think I've got enough time to build horrors as well. Do you have a giant bits box? I could have a giant bits box. And I do have many boxes that are full of lots of bits. I could probably do quite a roaring trade in bits, because I don't convert stuff. Not really. Let's be real. I always think, oh, I'll hold on to that because that'll be good for a conversion I'll do eventually, and then I never do it. I never do it because I'm a lame hobbyist. Because I suck, guys. I'm not great. So, you know, never meet your heroes. So yeah, I could probably do a roaring trade in bits, but It's just time. It's just time spent, you know. If I had a free week, maybe, and then I would buy a load of bags and then just be like, these are Lumineth bits, and these are bits, and these are these bits, and this, that, and the other. But it's like, ugh. Can you have my bits? If you want. If you're getting Zondara's Warband, I need a Contrast Plus for them. What's that? Zondara's Gravebreakers. Oh, these guys. Yeah, no, I haven't had any news if I'm getting them or not. They don't generally tend to send me those. What's your recipe for antique gold? I use Retributor armor with Targor Raid Shade over the top. That sounds nice. I generally go like a completely different way. And use like Balthazar if I'm going to go for a really antique looking gold. But yeah, like that would absolutely work. Retributor armor. Agrax can also work over the top. Kind of depends on the type of gold you're going for, whether it's dirty or whatever. How about random bits bags auctions? Chuck random bits into bags, wrap them up, and then people can donate for random bags. Yeah. That could be something that we could do. I could raffle off my entire bits collection. That'd be one way to get rid of it all, wouldn't it? Who wants 10 years worth of Blood Angels bits? I've just spotted this. I've just seen the spot that's on my nose, and I'm really disappointed in myself. I'm very sorry, guys. If you were to paint a Slanesh-themed Demon Prince for 40k in a Heresy-era Emperor's Children armor scheme, what colour would you do the wings? That's a really good question. Do you know what? I would probably go for... I would probably look at doing something like the normal kind of Slanesh skin that I usually do. So like that Magos Purple Apothecary White mix. It would probably be what I would do for the membranes. That like kind of really pale skin. There'd be a ton of options actually if you were to check out the Thricefold Discord video. There's loads of different kind of purple and skin things going on in that. I would probably borrow from that to do it. Or the Keeper of Secrets video as well. That's another thing. I'm starting my MESB journey with the Halls of Thranduil. Currently cleaning the Finecast Mirkwood Armoured Elves. That's sick. I need to do mine actually. Not my Mirkwood. I need to do these guys. Wardens of Gondor. I'm going to put these in the drink this week. Ooh! I should look to see if Guards of the Fountain Court are back in. And if they are, nobody buy them. Because I want some. Guards of the Fountain Court. Oh my god. They're allegedly in stock. These are the Finecast ones, though, aren't they? Rubbish. Alright, I'll deal with that later. I was tempted by dark grey membranes with pinky purple spines. That would also work. That would work very nicely. You could do like 2 layers of Dreadful Visage and call it a day. Because 1 isn't quite strong enough, but 2 would do it. Quickly buys them and holds them ransom. Baradin, no! I need them! I need them to finish 1,000 points. I need 4 guards of the Fountain Court. I need to build a set of knights. I need to build the Wardens of Gondor. And then paint something like 20 something. Hang on, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 warriors of Minas Tirith, 6 knights, Gandalf, the Wardens of the Gondor, these guys, guards of the Citadel Guards. So 24, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. 39 or so, 40 models, I think. Something like that. Any update on Fulgrim Transfigured? I haven't got to him yet. He's over there on the desk. I will make time to do him. I might even have time to do him this month. Because that would be good to do. He'd be a good model to get done, wouldn't he? The Yellow King salutes you. I salute you back, Yellow King. And also you, Gottfried. Hello, Go For It Painting. Do you do non-GW models? I haven't yet, but we're going to. I've got loads of them to do now. What we have done is we've built a charnel throne, which is great. I don't know how Usharan's going to sit on it, but there we go. Evening, joining for a wee bit to get a bit more colour on Battle Pilgrims before playing BG3. Awesome. I will be getting some Bretonians very shortly. Do you know what you would do to darken the skin in your Keeper video? I'm painting Shalaxi, but I'm horrible at eyeballing what contrast to use. Okay, let me have a look at it. Let me look at Shalaxi Hellbane. I need to do the video, but... I just haven't got to it yet. No, that's the Keeper. We want Shalaxi. Oh, let me zoom in. There we go. You know, she's got elements of, like... There's a little bit of Luxion purple going on in there for that little kind of purple tinge. The darker bits around the shoulders, that's black. So you could probably do something like... do the same colour scheme, so the Apothecary White Magos Purple mix over the skin. Then use Luxion Purple as a blend, and then over the top of that use either Black Templar or Black Legion, whichever you prefer, around the shoulders to make it really dark. Would be how I would do it, probably. The legs, I would probably just use Leviathan Purple for now. And then shade it with Druchii Violet. Such a funky model, Shalaxi. Yeah, because it is all much darker, isn't it? Probably would be how I'd do it. Did you get the 8th Army sprues from Warlord? A box from them turned up today, and I'm hoping that's what it is. Should we have a look? Should we have a look together? Let me go and grab the box. Oh, God. My chair just banged everything. I always forget to take this off my lap. And then every time it drops, we almost spear ourselves in the foot. It's a bit of an obstacle course in here at the minute. Yep, this is from Warlord Games. I was about to put the box on the screen, but they put my address on all 4 sides of the box. So, just in case it got lost, I guess. Oh. Come on. Reveal your secrets to me. Hey! The British 8th Army. What have we got in here? Enough plastic components to make 30 British Commonwealth miniatures. Includes a host of options to allow for different weapon configurations and command models. Equipment included Lee Enfield rifle, Thompson submachine gun, Bren gun LMG, Boys anti-tank rifle, Webley pistol, and 2-inch mortar. There you go. Sadly not Curtis builds. This is the British 8th Army. I do have your Gore Grunters though. They're here. They're in my large box of destruction. Well, it's death and destruction. Let me guess, no instructions. Most suitable period of World War II, early and mid, but not late. What is that? Included in this set are 2 staple support weapons, the 2-inch light mortar and the Boys anti-tank rifle. Okay. Those are not instructions. Don't you dare tell me those are instructions. Yeah, those are definitely, yeah. Well, these haven't been mispacked. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent stuff. That is not an instruction kit. That is just a label of what the components are. Oh, I'm gonna have to learn how to make units and then put them together, and it's so much. Just give me something that tells me what I can do. Don't make me read it here and go there and do this, that, and the other. It's just ugh. Oh well, yes, they've got it for me. Just every other miniatures company just puts barriers in the way so you're enjoying it. They are not instructions, Captain Memories. But yes, we have the 8th Army now. So now we'll be able to do a gentleman's war. So I'll have to go and find some anonymous PDF somewhere that tells me the best way to play this game is to build it this way and do this, that, and the other, and then understand how that works. Figure out how you build an army, what's legally allowed to do before I can even begin to build the miniatures, because there isn't something in there that says build a squad like this. Do you see what I mean? It's not. It creates anxiety. It creates anxiety in my tummy where I'm like, if I get this wrong, because this is the thing, is I'm not saying anybody here is like this, but when you step into another area, like bolt action, if you don't know everything that you're talking about, the bolt action community comes after you. There was a lot of people who were very cross about the Vallejo Express range, where they were like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Sort of. What's a good way to achieve dark, dirty metal for Chaos units? Would you still stick with Iron Warriors, Raid Shade, then Null Oil? Yeah, that's one way of doing it. If you want to go dirtier than that, you can do Iron Warriors, Raid Shade, and then Agrax. They'll be even dirtier then. They'll be really dirty. If you check out the Uruk-hai video I did, so the Isengard Battle Host video, that's a really dark, dirty metal. The thing as well, you have to get right for the historicals. You have to get the exact right tone of colour, because if you get that wrong, you just get slain as well. They might well be, Lord Billy. It's just, it's, you know, you can't, obviously you have to have a bit of a thick skin on the internet. Naturally you do. But you need to come at it from a position of, I know what I'm doing when it comes to painting with one coat paint solutions like contrast paint, like Vallejo Express colors, right? I know what I'm doing with it. Getting the right color, that can be a little bit tricky, especially if you're not quite the right shade of green for the thing. But if I'm like, hey, I've built this thing and there's 2 Bren guns in a unit, or there's too many Bren guns, I'll just get told, huh, this guy, never watch any of his stuff, because he thought he could build 6 Bren guns. And it's just like, I didn't know. And it's not my fault. I don't want to read a 300-page book to know. What I'm trying to achieve is black/dark armor without it being ultra black, because very, very black hides a lot of the details. But thanks, dude. Oh, okay. Well, so what you could do is you could do Iron Warriors, and then you could, if you want to go really dark but not completely dark, use Black Templar. And you could thin the Black Templar down. So you do 1-to-1 Black Templar contrast or Lamian medium, whichever you prefer, and put that over the top. That will give you a really dark armor. But not make it black. Rattling Grime over Iron Warriors would be very dark and dirty as well, yep. Yep, 100% it would. Everyone knows you need at least one Tony for every Bren. You could even go for like really dirty, like Rattling Grime would be really dirty. You could go for really dirty and use Wildwood, but that would be like really dark brown. Yeah. Now, there's lots of things you could do, and obviously, if you wanted to be more of a war bandy type thing, you can just do some different stuff with it. I don't think I mentioned this, but Jordan Howell, thank you very much for becoming a member. That is incredibly generous of you. Thank you. You put us on 646. That's very kind of you. Thank you. We've had 9 new members today, and we're going to sign off in about 5 minutes' time, because Alice is home, and Me Time Mondays finishes around about this time anyway. But if you have anything else you want to say, any other questions you want to ask in the next 5 minutes, please do so. If you want to leave a like on the stream so we can see if we can go above 100 likes, that would be amazing. That would be fantastic. Thank you. And if anybody else wants to make that a nice round 10 members for today, that would be incredible. How does Rattling Grime compare to Wildwood? Wondering if it's worth getting the former, because you seem to use it a lot. Rattling Grime is... it's like a greyish brown. It's really good. It's a really nice paint. It provides a really decent alternative to Wildwood. Wildwood is brown, whereas Rattling Grime is grey-brown. It's very clearly that as well. It's like... it's almost like the difference between something like... I'll show you. That's more or less the difference between the two. So this is Thondia Brown, this one here, and that one is Storm Vermin Fur. So Rattling Grime has a lot more grey in it, and Thondia Brown is just like a brown. It's wood basically. It's wildwood. Baradon and Captain Mannerings have both gifted one membership to put us on a nice round 11. Thank you very much. Did you? I missed your answer to my Bone Reaper question. I didn't see it. Sorry, Alec man. Can you write it again? I might have done, but I don't remember it. Thank you very much, Baradon and Captain Mannerings. That's very generous of you. Thank you. Dana, just want to say I loved the hobby content video the other day. Defo more of those, please. Well, we can definitely get more of those. Do you mean the recommendations and stuff? Like the behind the scenes one? Captain Mannerings with the 5. Giving me some loving. Oh, I really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. We're gonna fund this camera, guys. Well, you guys have already donated so much to the fund. £884. Yeah, the stuff you use in like. Oh, good. Well, yeah, no, we can do more of those. I've got another one I could do. Once the new camera is here. We can talk about the cameras and stuff like that. Because I've used some of the what are they called, Colourforge sprays, and I know people want a priming video, so we can do that. That would be a good video to do, actually, behind the scenes priming, how to prime. That'll have to come out after I've done a big priming session. So the next big thing I have to do, where I do a lot of priming, I will do a video of it that will be a behind the scenes, a how to prime, and talk about Colourforge if I use Colourforge sprays. Good evening, Mark Reed. It boiled down to I don't know what scheme to use. I like how Petrifex Elite look with the greyish bone, but the lore doesn't appeal to me, and I don't think I could use bone primer on them. Oh, I see what you mean. So very recently, I did a coaching call where he wanted to combine the Mortizan Ossifactors and the Crematorians. And so we did a leg together. Let me show you. So we came out with this. So when you combine the schemes together, it actually starts to work really quite well. So we did a bit of that kind of the fiery skulls instead of like the spooky ghoulish skulls. We did the bone as of the Mortizan, whatever, what are they called? What's the box art ones called? Chris will know. And then did the armor in the same as the box art, the blue. So it's just adding like different sets of it to that kind of thing. Mortis Praetorians, there you go. So yeah, there we go. That's what we did. Yeah, so it's a cross between it's a blending of elements of the Crematorians and the Mortis Praetorians. So yeah, would you recommend the Vallejo bone colored airbrush primer or not? I bought a small bottle for my Bone Reapers when I first got them. I don't know it. I don't know it, so I can't give you a recommendation. Let me look at it though, because I don't use an airbrush. Vallejo bone airbrush paint. I don't know what it's called. Bone white. It's a little dark. As a primer. If you're then putting contrast paint over the top of it, it'll all be a little bit darker. It would work. Absolutely it would work because it's a bright colour and you're putting contrast paint over the top of it. Everything will have a little bit of a yellowy, bony texture to it, if you see what I mean. So yes, it would work. You need it to be a little bit more neutral for it to be kind of more, for the colours to look more like themselves, as it were. So if you put blue over that, for example, it'll be quite a murky blue, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But like any shades you put directly over that bone white, as I'm looking at it on the screen, again, never used it. But if you put like null oil over the top of it, for example, you'll get a slightly blacker bone color, which you might want. So it is up to you. You do need it to be a little bit more neutral if you want colors to be more like themselves, though. It's like how you can use Mechanicus standard gray, but if you put like red over Mechanicus standard gray, what you get is a dark red gray rather than a dark red. If you see what I mean. Does that make sense? Remember that basically contrast paints, shade paints, Vallejo Express Color, Speed Paint 2.0, whatever you want to use, remember that they're semi-translucent. So when you put them over something, you gain properties of what the base coat is, which is why I use Wraithbone, Greyseer, or White Scar, because they are neutral colours of varying degrees. So like Greyseer is quite a dark, it's darker, but it's neutral white, basically. It's a very, very off-white, very pale grey. Which is why, use Greyseer for darker schemes, more gloomy schemes. Wraithbone got that element of yellow into it, so it's a little bit more warm, which is why you use it for more organic textures, which is where it comes out warmer and somehow more brighter. White Scar sits between the two, but it's the brightest of the three. So it's neutral in the middle, so it won't be particularly dark and it won't be particularly warm. Needs more Gore Grunter. Makes sense. We can explain it more with more Gore Grunter. It makes sense. The undercoat would tint every contrast color is. Exactly, yeah. So if you... A really great example would be if you were to spray something... This is why people always ask me this. Why don't you spray metallic miniatures with metallic paints? So if you take something like Trajan Valoris, great question. Always a good question. People say, why don't you just spray it with gold? If you spray it with gold, and then you put Guilliman flesh over gold, what do you get? You get shaded gold. You don't get flesh. If you put red over gold, you get metallic red. You don't get... If you put Blood Angels red over Retributor armor, you don't get red. You get a metallic red, which is why it's not suitable for his cloak. Whilst gold is the predominant colour on a Custodian, it's not the only colour. And the most annoying part about painting Custodians is doing detail work around the gloves and things like that. Having to do 2 thin coats of a brown to make sure that there's no element of contrast paint in there is annoying, because it opens you up to error if you don't thin down your paint enough. It's how you get like kind of gummy gloves, basically. So the reason why, for the Custodians, I spray it with Wraithbone or Grey Seal or White Scar or whatever. Generally Wraithbone, I think, because we want a nice warm gold. It's so that the painting of the cloaks, the gloves, the black details, the power blades, and the black of the Guardian Spear is 10 times easier to do. You know, I always promote your channel as much as I can. I'm nearing 70k subs now. Curtis Builds, I'm jealous of you. I was watching you play Pal World the other day. We'll both get there. We'll both make it one day. Do many people play as well as paint? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I play as well as paint. I just don't play anywhere near as much as I would like to. Yeah, no, I'm getting there. I'm getting slowly but surely. We will eventually... I was saying it the other day on Liam's COD stream. All I want for Christmas is a silver YouTube play button. And to get that, we need 100,000 subs. And for that, we need to double the size of the channel. But, on that note, it is time for me to go, because I've stuck around for 15 minutes rather than 5. So, guys, thank you very much for watching the stream. If you could please leave 2 more likes on the stream, that would be incredible, because, you know, we're almost at 100. That would be great. I'd love you forever if we could do that. That would be great. Have we gone past it? Yeah, there you go. You've just done it. 100 likes. Amazing. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It's 100% possible to double the channel. James, Matthias, sir, you're incredible, sir. Thank you very much. We will double this channel. Will we get there this year? I don't know. Will we, for Christmas, get Warhipster his silver play button? I don't know. Only you can decide. If all 57,000 people who currently subscribe to me went and made another YouTube channel, made another YouTube account and then subscribed, we'd be there tomorrow. But that's not how the world works. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you so much for the donations to the camera fund. Thank you so much for all the new members. You guys are amazing. I love you. We will be back on Wednesday with a tale of many Warhipsters, episode 7 or whatever it is. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you all very soon in the next one. Love you very much. Bye-zy bye. Here is the wave. I must go. My time is done. Bye. I love you. Bye. Bye. Bye.